Hi, this is Numeric Citizen here. In today's video, 5 ways to export your data from Craft, and the big question, is your data in Craft actually yours? Let's find out. Let's start with the basic and obvious way of exporting data from Craft is by using the copy and paste command. Let's try that with this document, which is my About page built in Craft. Let's say I want to select this block of text here and hit copy. And then I'll switch to page, which is a word processor, and then I'll hit paste. So that's obviously not a good result, as we kind of lose some formatting from Craft within page. Let's try that with another block to see if the results are better. Let's try with this one. So again, I'll select all the text within that block, and then I'll switch to page and hit paste. Oh, so that's much better, which is kind of expected because we're kind of using basic formatting options within that block. Let's try with a different block, like a bookmark displayed as a tile card, I would say. So I copy that, and then I'm going there and pasting that. Again, I'll try something else. I'll take another bookmark there, copy, and paste. So as you can see, what Craft is doing is kind of leaving behind the formatting of Craft unique feature, and then only copy the content of the block I'm selecting. So that's something that you have to consider when you are trying to do copy and paste between Craft and a word processor. Let's try something else with a table. So here it's the release history of the Craft Bible. There's a document where I'm kind of listing all the changes over time that I'm doing in the Craft Bible. So let's say I'm selecting like a few lines in this table. So I'm hitting copy there, and I'll switch to pages, and I'll hit paste. So as you can see, the end results are pretty much less interesting. We're kind of missing a few things. Probably that the outline of the table would be possible if I would change the orientation of this page, but as you can see, there's a limit. You won't transfer the table content within page using pages built-in native table formatting options. So that's kind of pretty limiting, and I kind of hit the limit of Craft. So that's for the copy and paste way of exporting data from Craft. Now let's see how you can invoke the export function of Craft. The first place you can look for the export menu option is by expanding the navigation pane on the left, and then when you're clicking on the document, right-clicking on it, you can then select the export document title, and there is a format supported currently: the Markdown file, the TextBundle, a PDF page, a document, or a Microsoft Word document. You can also go in the shared button there. There's the export add as section where you'll find the same export format: the PDF, the Microsoft Word, the Markdown, and also the TextBundle. I don't know why they're not presented the same way like in the pop-up menu on the left, and also there's also the image format that is supported, and obviously you can print to an actual printer, or you can send a document as an email. So that's the place you can find, and there's one place recently introduced with the latest release of Craft version 2.3.6 is by using, if you go on a folder, and then you'll see there's a new folders commands available, and on the right, the folder action, there's one called export contents. So again, clicking on this export action will bring up the format that you want to use to export the content. So the same Markdown, TextBundle, PDF, and a Microsoft Word. So that's the way, the basic way is to start exporting content from Craft. Before going any further, I'd like to explain or maybe expose two basic formats supported by Craft. The first export format is a Markdown file, and the second is a TextBundle format. So the Markdown file is a text file containing the actual content plus a few formatting options for you to create headings, setting bold text, italic, and so on and so on. So there is a way to insert formatting option within a text file. So when it is imported within an application which support the Markdown file, the actual formatting will display correctly. So this is something that has been invented a few years ago by John Gruber, if I'm not mistaken. And the problem with this format, though, is that only the basic text is exported in the text file. So if there is an image, the actual image won't be part of the file exported. There is a new, more recent format supported with Craft, which is called the TextBundle. The TextBundle is something that is more that allow a more rich content to be exported, more formatting options, and applications like those, like Bear, like Craft, or even Ulysses, can import those files and then display more content from this file format. So those two formats, the Markdown files and the TextBundle, are coming on top of the PDF format, which is supported, and also the Microsoft Word format. Remember that if you are using the Microsoft Word format, it doesn't mean that you cannot use that in any other word processing application. That's the case. If you export in Word, then you can import the file in Apple Pages, which is kind of the counterpart of Microsoft Word, but from Apple. So that's the four basic file format that Craft is supporting. Okay, now let's try to export this document here, which contains quite a few different things, bookmarks, text formatting, and then at the end of it, there's a few images. So I'll try to export that file in a TextBundle format, and then I'll try to import that file in two different ways. So let's try to go there and select the export as a TextBundle. Then when the export option, the data will be downloaded, I'll just download that to the, there's a folder on the desktop right there, and I'll select that about me. That's the name of the resulting TextBundle file, and then I'll click select save. So if I go in the folder there, you'll see there is a folder where there's the actual document ending with a TextBundle extension. And as you can see from the file size, it means probably that images are within the actual file. So let's try to import that in Craft to see how the import will work. So I'll go in the test space there, and then I'll select the import TextBundle, and again I'll select the file, open. So the document is there, right there, and I do have most of the text. The formatting option kind of changed to something that is more generic, but as you can see, there's quite a few things that are different. The formatting of the bookmarks are different, but I think I can change them to back to the more crafty way of displaying that. For some reason it doesn't load, so I guess I can try that again for this one. So I can, as you can see, I can kind of get back the previous formatting. And then also at the end, there's the image file which were presented in the source document too. As you can see, the formatting or the arrangement is the same, but the size is different because the formatting options for the images are not supported in the TextBundle format. So that's pretty cool. A few missing things there, but nothing disastrous. Now let's see how it goes in Ulysses, which is a text editor. So again, I'll select the, I think I'll do that. I'll just bring that file right there. No, doesn't work. Right there, it doesn't work. So I'll open that with just right there. So the text is right there. So as you can see, the text is mostly the same as it was in Craft after the import. The hyperlink are all there, and the image at the end all there too. So as you can see, the TextBundle format is pretty much it's more powerful than if I do the same with a Markdown file format. So that's the export using the TextBundle file format. Now let's try to export the same document, but this time in the Markdown format. So you'll be able to compare with the TextBundle. Again, the same document. I'll export that in the Markdown file format. So as you can see, it's pretty much it's much faster. So about me, save. So if I go there and I look at the file, there's a few assets there. There's a few images are exported in a different folder, but the actual text is in the MD file there. So that's the Markdown file. I can try that and simply import that in, I'll just open that in the Ulysses. And as you can see, again, it's pretty much the same for this portion like it was for TextBundle format. You'll see the formatting like italic, bold, and also at the end there's the as you can see, there's a few placeholders for the actual image file, so I can double click on those and locate the original file, which are stored in a different folder. So there's a bit of more work to do to process the Markdown file format after the import. So that's for the Markdown file format. So now let's try to export the document in the PDF format. So again, right click on this document, use the export PDF format. And then already Craft is at work downloading the page, the document, and generating the PDF file, which I'll be able to export there. About me, enter. And then if I go in the folder, there's the folder where the document was located, and there's the PDF file itself. So as you can see, the size is pretty big. It's 100 megabytes and a little bit more. So this, as you can see there, this is the actual PDF and all the content of the document, including the image, and there's a page number. But there's a way to have a better control of the export process. Again, I'll just delete that, move to trash. You remember that I use the shared menu there where you can select the export as. Let's do the same thing and then select the PDF format. As you can see, there's a window with a few options that you can select to better have a better control over the export process. So I'll select the US letter. Craft will reformat the resulting file. I can select also the font size. There's three sizes, the regular, small, or big. I can decide to hide the document title. And as you can see, as I'm setting the options, each time Craft will have to regenerate a new document, so I'll put it back there. You can show or hide the page numbers. The watermark is the actual Craft branding. And here there's an issue for me. as I'm not sure if using the space where a document is sitting, which has a custom branding, if this branding there would be the craft branding or the user branding. I did not test that. And also you can select the dark mode where the page content will be inverted. And again, I can select save as, and it will generate the PDF file. And eventually the window will be dismissed and the file will be generated. I think it's already ready. So again, the same document, which is taking a bit less space because less pages because I selected the larger page format. So that's the way to generate a PDF file. You don't have control over the page break. That's an issue. So if you want to have a better control over page breaks, I would suggest you to first export in a Word document. Now let's try to export the document using the Microsoft Word file format. Again, there's two ways. You can select here the export option, Microsoft Word, boom, ask me to select folder, and in this folder I'll have the outgoing folder, which was in the craft environment, and there's this Word document. So I'll double click on this and boom, this is the document. As you can see, there is no cover image. The cover image of my document is not exported, but the formatting is pretty much closer to the original, minus a few differences, but this is pretty much what you get. The links are all there. The separator there is there like it was from the craft document, the bullets, the colored bullets, and also the image at the end. So as you can see, if you want to control the page break, you can go there and just enter a page break to have a better control over the paging of your document. So that's the best way to have the best control for your documents pages. There's one thing I want to show you again. It's related to tables. So I'll go in the Craft Bible and go in the update history, and I'll try to export that table in a Word document. So for this, I'll go in the share, export as, the Word, and then I'll select save, go in the folder, double click on that, and boom. So that's the best way to export a craft table into a document, is by going to the Word format. And the results are pretty impressive. It's pretty much what I had in the original. So again, Word format is the best way to go in that case. So that's pretty much it for the format option, format supported. Again, PDF, Word, TextBundle, and the Markdown file formats. Now there's another way that you can export content from Craft, is by generating an image file from the document content. So again, for this export example, I'll need to select the document I want to export, and there's only one way to go there, is by using the export and selecting the image, where you'll see a pop-up with the content that will be generated as an image, and the options at the bottom of that pane, where you can see all the options. You can select the formatting of your. So what this means is that you can select to export in a different format than it was originally created in the craft document itself. You can also use the dark mode or normal mode, and there's a way to select the way you want to format the resulting image. In that case, I want to select the fit document, so there won't be any page created, only a long document. Again, I can select the font size, hide the document title, or show the cover image, which I want to do in that case. So as you can see, the resulting image is a one long banner kind of thing. And I can just hit a save image. Again, in the export folder. And if I go on the export folder, there's a page 1 if I space on that. So that's the image export option. And you might ask yourself why I would use this file format to export the document content. Well, this PNG file there can be re-imported in a craft document. So if I go in the test space there and I create myself a document, I can just bring that document here and kind of create a thumbnail of this document if I want. Again, the formatting options of images in Craft are pretty limited and sometimes frustrating, but if you want to kind of have a thumbnail of your document, so that's the way to go, is by using the image file format when you export your document. So I want to just maybe recap a few limitations regarding exporting content from Craft. If I go in the Craft Bible, there's a few things that won't export correctly. This kind of tile there representing a page won't export if you're using a Markdown or TextBundle file format, or even Word. You will not be able to export that. Also, when generating an image, if you go there, when using the image there option, you may experience a few slow response before Craft is able to generate or compose the actual image and allowing you to save the resulting file. So be aware of that. And the other thing that is very important that you need to know regarding the limitation is that Craft will only export the top level container that you are selecting, where you are selecting the export option. So let me explain that again. If I go in the Craft Bible, as you can see, the Craft Bible contains a lot of page section there. As you can see, there's a lot of content. So when selecting the export feature right there, the file that is being generated is will only contain the actual document that I'm currently seeing. It won't go through all the leaves of the document structure. So in order to do that, you will have to visit each subpage and then again generate the PDF for that specific page within the containing document there. So that's something that you really have to consider when creating your document or you're organizing the content within Craft. If you expect to export into some other file format, consider that when thinking about the data organization within Craft. So that's pretty much the limitations that I found out during my different experimentation and usage of Craft. There are some other ways you can export data from Craft, is by using the transfer to menu. The transfer to menu will allow you to export some content of your Craft documents into one of those applications. So as you can see, D1, Things and Ulysses are installed on my machine. So I can select Things and it will allow me to export some content from this document within the Things to Do applications. So if I double click on that, what I'll have is the actual content of the file of the document within the notes of the to do item. So that's something that you can do, exporting the content of, I'll put that to the trash. You can also do the same in Ulysses. So again, if you select this option, the text will be exported directly to Ulysses is it's a more direct way of exporting data from Craft, and it works pretty well. There's a few things that you have to consider though, is that if there is a few images within your document, then you'll have to kind of remember that those file are actually links to the storage where those files are stored in the cloud. So they're not locally stored within the document. So this is something that you can see. If I double click on that, you can see the actual link to the file, which I think it's stored on the back end of the Craft cloud environment. So that's the other way you can export data out of Craft. It's by using the transfer options here. So that's it for the export of data, but there's one more thing to go. Now, the last thing I want to talk about in this video is your data in Craft actually yours? Well, it depends. Let me explain something. Here's how you can export all your data out of Craft in a single action. So for that, you have to go in the All Documents dynamic folder, where from there you can select the export contents using the folder action recently introduced. And from there, you will select the format that you want to use for your export actions. Depending on the format that you will select, then yes, you will keep most of the information that was in Craft. But if you are selecting a format like Markdown, then you will lose more information during the export process. I did not test this on a global basis because my documents, my content in Craft is pretty heavy. I mean, I have more than 600 documents. I have a lot of pages and stuff like that. So I did not test the export function, but you might expect something that is what you saw in the previous section of this video on exporting individual documents in one of those formats. Now, if you are using Craft to type or write basic text documents without much Craft specific features, like if you are using only bold, italic, list of bullets, items, things like that, then when you are exporting your documents, you won't lose anything actually. But the more you're using Craft specific formatting features, I mean, Craft is for creating beautiful documents like this one or this one. And if you are expecting to recover all those information, then you will lose some content along the way. So is your data all yours? The answer is yes, if you are using if you are writing content in the basic format. But if you are using Craft's Unix features, then you will lose some information. And in that case, I wouldn't say that Craft keeps all your data intact. You will lose some information. So that's, I think, the best way to answer to this question. So that's it for today. I hope you learned a few things along the way. I hope you have a better understanding of Craft export features. If you like the content of this video, just hit like. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel so you don't miss any new videos. Thanks again for being there. Thanks for watching, and see you guys. Bye.